What's up, Tutorinos? Welcome back to the Game Addicts podcast, the show where we're talking about the modern retro video games that we play and collect. I am this podcast player, one Brando. Joining me here today is this podcast player, two Mike.
Hello.
Episode 112 coming at you a little bit later this week. We're live on a Sunday afternoon. It's not typical for us, but that's how we're rolling right now. So essentially, guys, we want to right out the front gate and tell let you guys know kind of what's going on. We've been a little absent, a little bit like off with the weeks and everything. Essentially, life happens. And so what's going to happen, I think both me and Mike have agreed to sort of adjust the show schedule to every other week. He's got a big surgery coming up potentially, and so that may play a factor in it. I mean, obviously, he's not going to, like, if you remember, he was actually on the show right after a big surgery once before, when our good buddy Jason Brett from the UK was on. And, I mean, Mike powered through that show, but I definitely don't want him to feel like he's got to be here right after the surgery while he's still
Here was me the whole show.
And see that we weren't doing video then. We actually took a break from that. And so thankfully they never saw it.
Yeah.
And we had another guy to sort of shoot off of. Man, my beard is just out of freaking control.
All right, Fonzie.
Fonzie didn't have a beard.
He's got like 12 hairs that are really long.
Oh, that Fonzie. Work Fonzie. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I got you. Anyway, guys, that's what's kind of going on here. This episode will be released this week, but I'm not really too sure, like, because we kind of missed this week's episode. So does this constitute are we just? I don't know. I think this episode is going to be this week, and then we'll take next week off, and then we'll be into it. But Mike, coming in today, some really somber feelings. I've been kind of processing this for the last couple of weeks, and our local game shop, the place that was like my haven, most of my gaming collection came from this store, is closing, and they're not going out of business. I want to reiterate that they're not going out of business. It's just complications with their landlord and all that kind of stuff. But
we have our speculations.
Sure, but our local disc replay in our neck of the woods is leaving us, and I've always liked this store because they're always fair. I mean, of course, it's a franchise. You can't go in there and wheel and deal with them. But the prices are just pretty much either fair or right under. I never felt like I was overpriced for anything, unless the game is already expensive,
Right.
But I had heard about it, went in there, and yeah, dude, they're closing the place down. They're liquidating stuff. And you said the owner owns other stores in the area, right?
Yeah, that's what I was told.
Okay. So he's not really looking to get rid of too much stuff. He just wants to have less amount of stuff to move as possible. I think he's going to probably redistribute that stuff to other stores. But
right, that's what I was told.
I do have pickups. I went in and bought some games. Nothing in this stack is anything that's too ridiculous. These are just games that I waited on. I do that. Like, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, I want this. And then it's like, I just keep putting it off and putting it off,
right.
Hoping that the prices will decrease even more, right? I mean, cheap-ass gamer.
Well, I mean, and that's how we all have to be, really.
Sure. But the very first one is not a good game. But I've been in a big kick because of a certain title that just came out. So now I'm on a mode to get some of the ones that I've been missing in the collection. So Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, I have played a little bit of that, enough to maybe just demo it at like my nephew's house years ago. And it's definitely not Resident Evil. I don't want anybody to be confused by the name. You could have literally have called that anything else, you wouldn't be confused by it. Like,
Right.
but when I picked it up, it was only a couple of dollars. In fact, with their discount, it's probably less than that. This next one is again the same kind of vein. Resident Evil Revelations, and I got the Wii U copy. This got a lot of praise. This originally came out, Mike, on the 3DS. I don't know if you remember that.
The first Revelations, yes.
Mm-hmm. It came out on the Revelations, on the Revelation. Came out
on the Revelation. Wow,
Revelations came out on the 3DS, and it was pretty cool for that. And also, in the midst of you had 5 and 6, that one kind of brought back the horror element a little bit, and the kind of the mood, right? But also, one thing I want to note. There was a Resident Evil game, and I think it might be called Resident Evil Gaiden. It was like a Game Boy Color where you played as Barry, and you were a bull. Maybe I think the game had Leon and Barry in it. It's a game that never actually came out officially, but you can get it if you look for certain ROM sites that I won't mention. But
yeah, that we're not allowed to. Yeah.
No. I think the game starred Leon and Barry, and you were on a boat full of zombies.
I never played that one.
Well, I never did either. But Revelations takes place on a boat. So, neat little wink to that game that never got released. Speaking of Barry, I went ahead and picked this up too. Revelations 2 on the 360. I don't think it 2 ever came to the Wii U. If it did, they didn't have it there, and I'm just looking to get them. I could have got the original Revelations on the 360, but it was actually a couple dollars more on the 360 for some reason. And even with the discount, honestly, I got it. I got the original Revelations on the Wii U just to buff out my Wii U collection a little bit. A game that I own digitally thanks to the games with gold on the Xbox, because you get to keep all your 360 games, none of the Xbox One games. Gears of War Judgment. Never picked it up, because it's sort of like the one that's it's got Baird as the main character. So for a couple bucks, I figured, when I'm going through there trying to find games that in a certain price range that I've been trying to waiting to get and all that kind of stuff. This one though, Tomb Raider Anniversary, the remake of the original Tomb Raider on PS1. Been waiting on that for a long time. I almost bought that way back even before I started collecting. And then the last one here, it's a game that I played on Xbox Game Pass. It's an Xbox One exclusive for console. Quantum Break. I talked about it here on the show. I liked it. I didn't love it. But as far as my Xbox One collection, I want to buy it because I do want to finish it one day. And, it's one of those exclusives for console that you want to get. And now all I got to do is buy that damn Forza Horizon game.
Yeah.
Which that's still expensive. But going through the store, it was a little sad, man. The fact that... did you just send me a message?
I did.
You sent me a message. I can't see it because I've got I've been having issues with my crap on the computer. Where chat be? What do you mean where chat be?
We're not gonna have chat up?
I've never have chat up.
Oh. I don't know why I thought we did. Usually you have the window when you do Facebook and stuff. So yeah, you do have chat up.
Yeah, okay. That thing. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was looking, I'm like, I don't see the chat.
Yeah, my bad. There you go. You happy?
Yeah, I'm happy now. Okay.
Okay, you better be happy. Well, I got thrown off a little bit. Number one, it's a freaking Sunday. Number two, when I messaged you, I was still in bed.
Was you?
Well, I got out of bed, and then I went back to bed.
That's fair.
I didn't go back to sleep, but I just laid there not wanting to get up.
I have one pickup.
Yeah, you do.
And it's one that I've been waiting to buy because it's so expensive on the 360. I have it for the PS2. And I think I spent $6 or $7 on the PS2, but it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
I owned it on the 360, so I wanted it, and it actually is the reason why I blew my 360. That would be Need for Speed Most Wanted. I love this game. I don't care if people say, "Oh, Underground is better. Underground 2 is better." It is and it isn't. It didn't have the cop element that I wanted. This actually has a very difficult cops, and you actually really do run from them. Like the new Need for Speed Most Wanted, I got it because I was like, all right, here we go. Our new Need for Speed. It was kind of a rehash, and the cop level on it sucked. Like I couldn't get over 60 miles an hour. That's how bad it was, because they would just like vanish. So yeah. And I was really happy to get this. It's just always, $25.
I know, dude.
And this was released in, if I can read it that small.
I'm going to guess 2009.
You're guessing 2009. Well, sir, I see 2005, which we know that's not right.
Well, it actually could be.
Let's see, 2005.
Well, I mean
it was a launch title.
Yep. And there you go.
2005.
Yep. November 11th, 2005. Came out on PS2, PS3, Xbox 360, PSP.
Came up on everything.
Came out on PC. Came out, man. It ran the whole gamut. So yeah, that game, man. That game has been consistently the same price.
Look at that! I just took the sticker off. Aren't you proud of me?
Oh my gosh! And you got it off without a hassle.
It literally just popped right off.
All of mine except for one, Raccoon City, had a bunch of like GameStop stickers. But everything else, dude, even those crappy ass disc replay stickers that I hate with like every fiber of my being, those just slid right off, man.
Man, I tell you what, that Raccoon City, when that game was first announced and I saw a little bit of gameplay, I was really excited. I was like, oh man,
same.
This is gonna be cool. We're gonna mess around. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And I decided to hold off because I saw a lot of people were like, it's not what it needs to be. It's not right. It's not right. And then it bombed hard. And I was
very much so.
I'm not buying it.
Very much so. I'm actually going to look up the average review score for that. Right here on the show. Operation Raccoon City. On Metacritic, it's got a 52%.
That's higher than I expected.
IGN gave it a 4 out of 10. Yeah. So the Metascore, it has one positive review. 18 mixed reviews and 17 negative reviews. The user score is 4.8 with 70 positive, 63 mixed, 115 negative.
Huh.
Starting The Guardian gave it an 8 out of 10.
Wow.
I know. And then it just goes down from there. It goes down fast.
Well, good for you, Guardian, for sucking some dick.
Yeah, and then you got some people giving it 10s, which even I wouldn't go that far, even if I liked it. Like, love the game. It's very fun. Don't understand the negative reviews. Says, was very worried about picking this game up, spending $60 on a title that's been hammered hard by IGN, giving mediocre game review by Game Informer, a good review from the Inquirer, and giving a glowing review from NG4 R.I.P Gamer. So much inconsistency. I think it has much more to do with personal preference and less than poor game design. This game, in my opinion, is one of the best incarnations of RE since RE4. What? All right, then. The The controls are tight and fluid. The graphics are top notch. The sound is creepy. Everything reminds me of the joys of playing RE2 for the first time. All right, this guy's definitely got some rose-colored glasses on.
No kidding. How much did you get paid for that review?
That was just that's a user score review on Metacritic. He loves it, absolutely loves it.
Well, good for you. You're going to be playing online by yourself,
right? But
because nobody else does.
I finally beat Leon Scenario A yesterday.
It's rough.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't that bad. Mr. X showing back up kind of sucked.
How did you like him breaking through the glass? I thought it was perfect.
Oh no, it is perfect, but it's like at the same time I'm like, and then you go to leave, and then all those damn grass zombies get back up. So
yeah, did you? How did you like when you're exiting the building, and he drops, and he's like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah,
like he literally said, "Are you kidding me?" It's just.
Yeah, and then that fight reminded me a lot more of like the original Mr. X fight towards the end of Scenario B on the original game. But it's basically just kind of where you have to run around, survive him. You can stun him a little bit if you shoot him right in the heart, which his heart is now exposed. So like really he looks like Mr. X did the fusion dance with the original Tyrant from RE1.
Right.
So, all in all, the game was badass. I loved it. I started the clear second run, Scenario B. But like I told you before we started the show, I do want to play that, but I'm also like itching to play Kingdom Hearts 3. I've had it since it came out. I got it in the mail. I haven't even touched it. So
right.
I'm kind of itching. I want to play. I want to go. I want to do that. So I might be shelving RE2 while I play that. I guess Kingdom Hearts is about a 30-hour game, maybe 40-hour game, so we'll see. I've heard nothing but good things about it. Like, nobody has said a bad word about Kingdom Hearts 3, which is good. That is a very good sign, especially since there's another project that those guys are working on that you and I are even more excited for, the Final Fantasy VII remake. And to hear this game come out and everyone's like, good job, guys. And then, we're over here like, all right, that's a good sign because that is a possible sign of things to come.
Right.
And, of course, that's not coming for a good while. I do assume that we'll hear something this year. I assume we're going to get something.
I hope we get anything. Just a little, all right, guys, even if it's like, hey, we're at 40%, it's like, okay, I have in my head 40%. That's fine. Take your time. Do it right. It's episodic though. That's
right.
That to me, it bothers me, but it doesn't bother me. I don't know how to explain it. Like it bothers me to the point of how long we had to wait for each episode.
Excuse my Sunday yawns. But what I will say is that the rumor has it that this game is a lot further in development than we think. And the other thing is that it's going to be a 3-part episodic, right? Each game's going to feel like a complete game. So they're changing the story because they have to in order to make the game feel like a complete game. There's no way that you can chop up that story and make it feel like a complete game without I mean, of course it's going to be with a designated to be continued, but you've got to wrap up enough storyline in that game to go into the next one. Pacing would just be really weird if you just did nothing about a certain character arc and like say you touch on it in one and start it for example, Barrett. We get to know Barrett a little bit, but in the original game we get all of his actual background development in one clump.
Right.
So it's like, are they just going to wait for that? Is he just going to not be, is he going to be, he's got to have some sort of character arc in the first part that is different from, it can't be like leading into that and then no touch on it. It's got to be like, well, he's the leader and all this stuff. And then it's like, by the time you get to part 2 or wherever that part takes place, then it's like, oh, this character's deeper. It just like any other game that is a planned trilogy, you've got to plan it out. But, I've heard that this year is going to be the year that we get a lot of information on it. So I'm excited about that for sure. And E3, PlayStation Experience, something. Get it out, Mike. Get it out.
I know. It's Sunday. It's lazy Sunday. I'm allowed to.
Here. But
my thing is where do you end? I want, and this is only because I think it's the logical place to stop, is with ending Barrett's thing and getting into Golden Saucer, where you have the full ability to explore all of it. Because that will give, I know that's pretty far, and that's actually a very large chunk of the game, but it will allow you to get all that out there, and then it gives those of us who know the game already the ability to do arena.
sure.
Because there's going to be a lot of us that are like, I want Omni Slash right when 2 comes out. Or do some more stuff where when you load up, you'll have, I think they're going to take Omni Slash away, because that's just going to be like, you won't be able to get it that way. I think.
To me, it all depends on what they add to it, because they're going to add areas. They're going to make the first continent probably seem more expansive, have more places to go, more towns to go to, other than just the big ones that we go to. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if the game ends like at Junon, or like before we go to the next continent.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too, because Junon would be a good place to stop.
I mean,
because you can kind of wrap up that continent story, and you get a little bit of the backstory of what's going on with Cloud and this mystical guy that he's after that you really don't know anything about, which we do, but
right. It dangles enough information, because the original flashback is a lie, right? It's the truth, but it's a lie. So but for the first game, it can be the gospel truth. Everything here, Sephiroth showed up. He killed the president. Now here's what happened 5 years ago, and then that version.
Do you put a little battle in there where you're fighting Sephiroth and he's kind of holding back, kind of like, you could do better than that, kind of his bit.
Well, the thing is that it's not really Sephiroth at all. It's Genova,
right? So
I don't know. It's like, does Genova even want to really fight as Sephiroth? Because every single time that we encounter, like, Genova like drops a piece of herself, and then you fight the piece. So
right.
I don't know. It'd be interesting. Very interesting. I'm excited to hear more, see more. And then, of course, going into this year, we have all the rumors of next-gen consoles getting announced. PlayStation just said, or some guy that worked for PlayStation said, that streaming will be the end of home consoles. But, of course, didn't say when. My guess is that just like going digital content, right? It's something that's not going to happen for a long time, until they get enough infrastructure, until they get a good enough, internet connectivity across the Midwest, because that's your big issue. You have your big connection hubs in your metropolises, but you have a lot of rural areas that just don't have good internet. So that's a market that you don't want to cut off. And
right.
I mean, it is what it is. It's like, okay, on some level we have the technology and we're ready, but then like once we do it, then there's like, we lose millions of people who would be gaming and buying games and shit like that. So looking at the news, there was Nintendo stuff. All right, Nintendo, I got it right here. Nintendo released some of their sales numbers. Of course, I sent this to you last week, I think.
Yes.
And so as of December 31st, at the end of the year last year, Nintendo Switch has sold a total of 32.27 million units. And
163.61 million units of software.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's killing it, dude. It is killing it. So it is
pretty much all the main titles a third of Switch owners own.
Pretty much.
The big five. At this point, you're only going with the big five, in my opinion.
Yep, I got those numbers as well. Of course, the number one selling game on the system is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and that is at 15 million copies. You have Mario Odyssey at 13.7, almost 14 there. At 12 million, that's Super Smash Brothers. So think of this. This was released December 31st.
Yep.
And Smash Brothers in 2 or 3 weeks sold almost as many copies as Mario Odyssey.
Yep.
And Mario Kart 8. That is insane. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild launch title for the system is about 11.5, so that's doing really good for itself. And then at 10 million copies, the Pokemon Let's Go, both versions combined.
So just these five, if you add them up, you've got 15, 13, and 12. So that there's 30 million roughly. We're just doing roughly. And then you've got another 22 million.
Well,
so out of all their sales, 53 million or 52 million?
Well, I mean, you think about it, you got the 15, 13, that's 28. Another 12, that's 40.
Yeah.
11.
60.
Yeah, 60 million, 60 million games just out of those five.
And what was the total sales? 168?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's killing it.
Absolutely, dude. And when you think about their actual sales numbers and shit, when you look at,
well, they're going nuts, aren't they?
yes, screw you, Blaine. So when you look at the actual numbers, we don't have actual numbers for the Xbox One. Projections put it at around 40 million, maybe a little bit higher. So the Switch is going to pass the Xbox this year. It's pretty well assumed that it will do that. I don't think the Xbox is going to kick up enough dust to stay ahead. Not with this other thing. Nintendo has potentially 12 unannounced Switch games coming out this year,
which is huge. We know it's not Metroid.
No, that's something that we need to discuss about how Metroid is essentially going to be. They had to restart it, but they do have the Metroid Prime trilogy to come out. You could do Mario Maker, do a port of that. That could be one. You could do. I guess there's a rumored Star Fox Racing.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Oh wait! It says right here that the mystery game they could have a Super Mario Maker 2.
Quite possible.
And then a new 2D Zelda.
I'd be all for a new
a new 2D Pikmin Zelda. Would be good.
Yeah. Well, Pikmin 3 came out for the Wii U, so that could be a port, right?
Yeah, I was saying a new one.
Right, but I mean, that would be new to a lot of people because the Wii U only sold 13 million units. So.
Yep.
But 2019 already has Yoshi's Crafted World, Luigi's Mansion 3, new Animal Crossing, new Fire Emblem, Daemon X Machina, a new Pokemon game, which is a new next generation Pokemon game, and Bayonetta 3. Those are already coming out. And then I saw that the release dates for those games could have been for Animal Crossing and Luigi's Mansion could have been leaked. Animal Crossing reportedly. I believe this was a leak. I don't know what site this was on. It kind of looks like GameStop, but I can't tell for sure. September 13th, 2019, and then Luigi's Mansion 3, July 19th, 2019. So, that wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, not in the slightest would that surprise me because they always like to have games coming out on a pretty semi-regular basis every couple of months.
Yeah, they're pretty good about
that. Just to note that the Switch at 32 million units is almost halfway to the lifetime sales of the 3DS.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, and that's all the 3DS.
Yeah, all the different versions, the original, the XL, the new 3DS XL, the 2DS, the new 2DS XL, all those various versions. It's pretty ridiculous, all things considered. I didn't realize they had the entire history of the Nintendo sales on here.
Yeah, I
this is
see
kinda
that.
cool. I just kept scrolling and was like, what is this?
I mean, you look at the NES back in the day, 61.9 million units sold.
Sure. I mean, that's awesome.
That's amazing when you think about the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Super NES didn't touch those numbers. It only sold 49, but I think the the SNES is such a better console.
It is, but it also had a lot of competition from the Genesis as well. You got to remember.
It did. But then you've got like the 64 at 32.9.
Now, stop there, because what competed against the 64? It was the PS1, and that's at 100 million.
Yeah.
So, dude, the PS1 blew Nintendo out of the water.
Oh, and then look at the next one. Next generation.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo Cube only sold 21.74 million, and I was one of those purchasers.
As was I. What I will say, okay, so we're going to look up original Xbox sales. If I could, I cannot type. My phone is being stupid.
Tell your phone to stop being stupid.
I'm trying. All right, you know what I need to do? I need to go to OG Xbox. All right. Sales for the original Xbox, 24 plus million. So it just over 24 million. So you think about it, the GameCube had 21.7. The original Xbox had 24 million. PS2
had the PS2
had 150 million. Those two consoles combined don't even equal.
Pretty much what that's what he did. He just slapped that elbow and dropped it from the top rope.
Dude, those two consoles combined couldn't even equal half of what PlayStation sold in that generation. That console was a monster, man. It
destroyed everything.
An utter monster.
But then you've got, like the Game Boy obviously sold extremely well. At 118.
And that's all of them. That's the original brick to the color.
Yeah. And then you've got the Game Boy Advance, which that's all the way to the SP.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually to the Micro.
Oh, yeah, the Micro. That's right. So 81 million units. That's awesome. But then you jump up here to the DS, and it's like, wow, 154 million units sold.
There was something about that console, dude. It just caught on. And then of course you had the different versions, the DS, DS Lite, DSi, DSi XL. You had a lot of different versions of the DS, and then of course what also helps those are those special edition ones that come out. But this era, the DS and Wii era, is what made Nintendo a crap ton of money.
And here's the thing: is all I hear all the time is, "Well, Nintendo's out of the game; they're not doing anything." Nintendo doesn't care. Look at this. You look through the things. I see 2 consoles that didn't do very well. Out of everything I'm seeing here, excluding from up to the Wii. Okay, we're not doing the Wii U because we know what happened there. GameCube and 64. Now that's when the PlayStation was really just hammering it out. But everything else, everything's almost 50 million units or more. Mm-hmm. And then you've got, the Game Boy, the original Game Boy. I mean, that was the OG. Killed it. Absolutely. Game Boy Advance killed it. And then you've got the DS that just annihilated any other handheld out there. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter what you had that. But the PSP did it well as well.
It did about 80 million, yeah.
So, man, it was just people were buying. And 101 million for the Wii hardware.
Mm-hmm. Now, again, remember, it's not always in the hardware where they make their money. It's more so in the software.
I know, but and then you look at the software for the Wii at 920.66 million units.
Mm-hmm. And then 948.6 for the DS.
And then you go up to the Wii U, 13.56 million units sold, only 102.69 million units of software sold. Mm-hmm. That's not good.
No, it really isn't. Well, and then when you compare the 3DS to the original DS, And the
That's not even halfway there.
Yeah, and then even for the software, that's like a third, like of those numbers. So like it's not doing nearly as well. But then the Switch it's trucking along, man. It's doing good, and I hope to see it still do good. I have heard that they are looking to do more with their online service. Of course, there's the rumors about the SNES titles coming. They just added some new NES titles, I do believe. By the way, I got a NES Classic. I don't have anything back here to show, but I do have that. Me and the kid have played it. It was fun, and I did just get my wireless NES controller in, and I tested it out last night, and I like it.
That's good.
It works. It works great. And then it has the 4 buttons on the top, where it's cool because I didn't want buttons that confused, right? For my little 3-year-old, 3.5-year-old, those top buttons are the turbo buttons.
Right.
So I was playing like Ghosts and Goblins, hitting the turbo button for him throwing a spear. I'm like, haha, this is way easier. And then I still died. But
yeah,
whatever. Dude, I actually sat down and played Kirby. I love that Kirby adventure game on that.
It's so good.
It is such a shame that Kirby games don't sell as much as they do. And it's also such a shame that I actually don't buy as much as I want to buy.
Yeah.
Speaking of numbers, you know what we should do? You know what we should actually do? I'm going to look up because this game, sure, was the biggest, but top selling games 2018. Okay, so we have the top 10 selling games of 2018. Are you ready, my friend?
I'm ready to go.
Okay. I don't know if I believe that list. I'm looking at a different one.
I don't believe that one. I'm not ready.
I don't know. I don't know if I believe it. It's like one of those ones where you're like, wait a minute. I don't believe this list either. I need a list.
You're not going to get it. X is not going to give it to you.
Oh, man. X don't give it to me.
He don't give it to you. Not done. He don't give it to you.
Gosh dang it. Here.
You got something? Because I can pull something up right quick.
I keep finding lists, but they're all different. And I don't like that. It's complete and utter bullcrap. Okay. I'm looking up something different. Top selling.
Wow, this site came with 8 billion freaking things. That's wonderful.
Okay, MPD. I got MPD. All right. Got it. Are you ready? We're going to go through the top 20 selling games of 2018. Guess what number 20 is?
What is it?
Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. 19 is Super Mario Party. 18 is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. 17 is Dragon Ball FighterZ. 16, Call of Duty World War II. 15, Super Mario Odyssey. 14, Battlefield 5. Hashtag that one for later because we're going to talk about that.
Right.
FIFA 19 is 13. 12 is Mario Kart 8. There, again.
Top, right there, 5. They have 5 spots.
Number 11, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Wow. Still.
Number 10, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Number 9, Monster Hunter World. Number 8, God of War.
Nice.
Number 7, Far Cry 5. 6, Marvel Spider-Man. Number 5, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. That would have been even more if it had launched earlier.
That's crazy.
Number 4, Madden. Number 3, NBA 2K19. Number 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. And number 1, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Say it's Red Dead.
Now, Red Dead it has shipped 23 million copies. It has completely exploded all of the expectations from Rockstar and Take-Two. Will this game reach GTA levels of sales? I don't think so. That's over 100 million. but I think this will continue to be a good selling game. This not even. I mean, we're only a few months removed from the game. People are still buying it. People are still playing it for the first time.
Right.
It has an interactive online community that they keep updating and adding stuff to, and they would do themselves justice by releasing some sort of expansion or do something, because they have that full map that's only really utilized in the online mode. But you have you could do an expansion, story expansion with some other characters. Here's my idea, and I don't know if they want to do this much work. You could almost do the entire original Red Dead Redemption game with this engine. You've got half the map in it already. You've got the gameplay. All you got to do is transfer it over, make it work, and then re-render the cutscenes. The cutscenes are already done. I would love it if they said, "Yeah, here we are, the entire game in 2." Like that. That would just be ridiculous to me.
It would be.
But we want to talk about Battlefield 5. So, our good friends at Electronic Arts.
I wouldn't call them friends.
Me either. However, they did say that their quarter earnings were not as high, and a large part of that was because of Battlefield 5 only sold 11 million units. The reason why the game didn't do so well is because they focused way too much on single-player content and not enough on Battle Royale. Now, Mike.
Yeah.
All right. Red Dead Redemption 2 launched as a single-player experience. Spider-Man, single-player. Far Cry has a multiplayer, but has it's mainly a single-player experience.
Right.
God of War, single-player experience. Assassin's Creed, single-player experience. Grand Theft Auto 5, it's an old game, but still selling enough to be right dab in the middle, almost in the top 10, has a vibrant online mode now. Launched as a single-player experience. Has a great single-player experience. Super Mario Odyssey, where's the online component of that?
Let me think.
Other than the balloon mode, or it's all stat mode. Tracking. It's a single player experience. Breath of the Wild, single player experience. Pokemon, let's go. Quite literally, the 3 of the biggest games this year, Red Dead, God of War, Spider-Man, sold truck tons.
Yep.
And then
you're right.
Assassin's Creed, Far Cry. You're telling me that Battlefield failed because you focused too much on single player? Maybe the single player sucked.
I think that what they're trying to say is that what they should have done, instead of having a first-person campaign mode, they should have scrapped that and went to a battle royale mode.
But okay, so then now you're just copying Call of Duty then, because that's what they did.
But that's the thing, is right now that's what's hot. Everybody's playing that specifically, and it's, it is what it is. I played them a little bit. I'm sure the Call of Duty one would be more appealing to me because I like the Call of Duty, but to me you're not. No, I don't want to show messages. There we go. You're not achieving anything. You always start out with nothing and you work your way up to something, but it's all of luck of the draw.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like that. I mean, you can be good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's all luck. No, there's guys out there that are awesome at the game. Don't get me wrong. But essentially is high, you go to the place where everybody's dropping. It's high risk, high reward.
Mm-hmm. So this goes along with EA and their multiplayer is the future, single player is the past.
Right.
Because we're going to transition into something into our last topic, because the next big game from EA coming out is Anthem from BioWare. BioWare is a long-standing single-player RPG company, and the game that they're putting out is, a lot of people said it was a Destiny clone. we played the demo. I don't think it is. I think it's
Yeah, I don't think it is.
It's got
Now that I
aspects.
played it.
It's got aspects of it. It's the same mindset. It's just it's. I think Anthem could be definitely docked up there with the same type of game as a Destiny, Division, Anthem, but I don't think it's going to be a copy. I don't think it's right up there with it. I think it's right up there with it, and I think that it could be another game of that echelon. The game definitely felt like Mass Effect on steroids.
The gameplay is phenomenal in that game. Plain and simple. It is freaking tight. I don't know what else to say. The fighting and stuff is tight, and the flight system. That was fun. That's all I like to do. Like when I was playing it, I literally found myself just flying around, enjoying the environment, and that's something that's very rare in those games. You don't get to do. I basically just flew around and got world events because that's where you get your good chests and stuff like that. Once you beat the 3 levels of scenario, and then you get another suit. Javelin, and I probably picked the least fun one. But I understood the aspect of it, but I did catch a lot of the hints from Destiny. So I picked the melee, essentially the glass cannon, rogue stealth style suit, and that's how I like to play games, but it's not very stealthy. But it is designed to run in and melee the little guys down.
Yeah.
And its special ability is quite literally Blade Dancer from Destiny's Hunter, Blade Dancer. What it does is that you go into a trance where every melee damage is super high damage, and you just run and melee people, and you have a time. And that's it. I don't know if you're invincible. It took away my shield. I couldn't see my shield or my health bar, so I assumed I was invincible.
Maybe so. I enjoyed what we played, but as I've already said, I don't want to separate that kind of time. Because, quite literally, I got to play games twice this past week, and for a very limited amount of time. It took me a while to beat Resident Evil 2. Also, I got a rank B in Resident Evil 2 and beat the game with a log time of 6.5 hours. I put 6.5 hours into that game, and it took
better
me, and it took a while to do it. And you beat it before I did.
Yeah, and I spent 10 hours.
Right. So it just adulting sucks.
Yeah.
Adulting sucks. I don't always get to have time to play. I'm a different person than I was when Mass Effect 3 multiplayer came out and we all played it. GTA Online came out and we all played it. I don't have that kind of time to dedicate to that anymore. And then when I do, I want to spend it more so relaxing. And my worry is, I don't want to necessarily play a game like that is designed with a multiplayer aspect, but you can do it in a single player aspect. It just seems like big open places to go, and I'm by myself.
Right.
And a bunch of people to kill, which would be a lot easier to kill if I had somebody else with me or whatever. I like multiplayer, but I'm not. That doesn't sell me on anything, and that's what I was saying about the whole EA thing. Multiplayer is the future. Here's a star-studded studio like BioWare that puts out great single player experiences. I mean, look at everything they've done in the last 15 years. You can nitpick a couple of titles, but it's mostly top-notch shit. And here's this game. I'm not saying it's going to be bad either because of that. It was very fun to play, and the storyline seemed weird, but all right, not turned off by it. It seemed interesting, but
yeah. I don't know how I felt about it. I really knew that they were really wanting to showcase the gameplay.
Right.
And for me, I didn't even get to hear the outro of the main story because mine froze. So no matter what I did, I played it 3 times to see if I got it, and it would just pause. Man. It paused in the same spot every time. So I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'll just move on.
Yeah, that stinks.
But I'm okay with EA being the multiplayer group. Be the multiplayer group. That's fine with me. But don't mess with your single player RPGs, guys. Like, maybe the BioWare team wanted to do something like this, and this might be a good thing because the next Mass Effect game we might get might be this with that Mass Effect story. And let me tell you what, if that's the case, holy crap.
Yeah.
The gameplay is going to be, Jesus Christ, phenomenal.
It'll be over the top for sure.
And it'll be the one of the best games ever made. If they take this action platform and put a Mass Effect story on it,
that
sells itself.
Absolutely. I mean, you got me day one. I mean, I'm in day one anyway. It's a Mass Effect title.
Right, but if you've got something that good, people are just going to be like, okay, this is getting 9.6s, 9.7s across the board. And it's one of those things where a lot of people nowadays, they look at a game and they're just like, well, 5 places gave it a 9, so I'm buying it. A lot of people in their head, they're like, okay, day one release game, if it's over an 8.5, I'm buying it day one.
Yeah, man. You're right. You're right.
A lot of people doing that now. So,
and a lot of people doing Target deals. Target now has their buy 2 get 1 free deal back.
God, I love them.
And
I love those.
It even encompasses like some of the biggest games for the holiday season that we've already said that were top selling, like Call of Duty, Red Dead Redemption. Also, new games like Resident Evil 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3 are involved, and they're in there.
Oh, wow.
And they're, I guess...
when is that in? This week?
I don't know. Let's see here. If you're already planning on buying one of the mini titles this month, maybe it's for the whole month. Anthem, Metro Exodus, Jump Force, Far Cry New Dawn, and other unreleased games are all part of the deal.
Huh.
Even some games beyond February, like Devil May Cry 5, can be are available to be pre-ordered in the promotion, so you can actually buy a game that doesn't even come out yet. But a game, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, is not involved.
Right.
Nintendo's like, we're not giving that away for free. It's selling gangbusters already. But it's worth a check out for anybody who wants to pick up some games that maybe miss some titles. And I mean, if I would have waited to pick up both games like I got with RE2 and Kingdom Hearts, I could have got a free game.
Right.
Maybe I could have got Anthem for free, and then I wouldn't have any qualms about it, like if I didn't like it or not.
Oh man, when we're done, I want to screen share with you.
All right, man. We are almost done though. I don't even know how long we've been going because my little.
I know it doesn't show up.
Yeah, it's not showing up like it always does. So a little weird by that, but I think we've been going for quite a while enough, long enough for a good show. We did get a new follower 7 days ago.
That.
7 days ago. So MBuster 34878. Thank you for following us on Twitch. As always, you can always check us out live on Twitch. We will get back to our normally regular schedule eventually. As I said, we're going to be shifting to an every other week thing. During that off week, I might jump on here and just stream something. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe it'll be something new that I'm playing. Maybe it'll be an old game. Maybe it's one of these stack here that I need to try out. Maybe I'll do that. But that's kind of like my idea for like the stopgap for those in between those weeks. But we are live each and every single other Wednesday, live on Twitch and our Facebook page. And of course, if you missed the live feed, no worries, we got you covered, because every single Thursday the audio drops on podcast services around the world. Check your favorite one. If we're not there, drop us a line, let us know, that way we can make us there. And then of course, if you do want to see our beautiful faces in these little squares, the video version does go to our YouTube channel. Search Game Addicts Podcast. We show up. That is the one-stop shop for every single thing that we do. Audio podcasts, the video versions, and our gameplay all go up there. Please give us a sub there. Help us grow the channel over there. And then, of course, check us out across all of our social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagrams, over at Game Addicts Play. I think that's the entire thing that I need to say. Mike, thank you so much for joining me this week.
No problem. Anytime.
I look forward to hanging out with you again and talking about some games, and of course going back to playing some games. I need to go back and play some more games here. So until next time, guys, I will let you guys know when that's going to be. Stay tuned to our social media for all the latest and greatest news from us. I've been Brando.
And I've been Mike.
Game on, guys. Have a good one.